Welcome to the 2018 Spring Conference for Minnesota Online High School students. Hi, I'm Joe Shingen, and I teach English at Academic Excellence Online. When I was asked to teach online, I wondered what it would be like, and if it would be a good fit for me. I wasn't even sure if online school was a good idea for kids. Now, I see that learning online can be exactly what some students need in order to be successful and thrive. Today is about connecting and networking with other online high schoolers through the power of story. We have 8 students whose stories differ greatly. You will hear from freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors who live across Minnesota and have a range of reasons for learning online. As you watch them tell their stories, join in on the chat that is happening in real time. Without further ado, let me introduce our first speaker. Asha Graf is a junior at AEO. She has specific reasons for taking classes online. Let's hear her story.
My name is Asha Graf. I'm a junior, and this is my 3rd year with AEO. My freshman year, I was at a public high school full-time. The grading system was made up of 20% of homework and assignments, 80% of tests, presentations, and papers. This was a big adjustment and really hard to get used to. My grades weren't the best. One day, a family friend recommended AEO to me, and I discussed it with my family, and we just looked at all of our options. That's how I found out about it. That's how I decided to do English online. It was going much smoother for the rest of the semester. I had a level of responsibility I could handle. The assignments and books were the same as everyone else that was in school. I really felt like I could enjoy learning again because I didn't have as much stress or pressure on me to test well. My teacher gave me really good feedback, and they supported me. The semester rolled around, and I left for spring break. A week later, I came back with a virus that made me very sick. After being in the hospital for 2 weeks with some brain injuries, I knew finishing school was going to be pretty hard. After discussing all my options, I decided I felt better with being homeschooled. AEO and all the staff and teachers helped me. They were flexible, very supportive, and wanted nothing but for me to succeed. They thought outside the box and made me learn the material in a way that I actually could. While being in a public school for most of the day, I found my love for music and band. After my freshman year, I actually switched schools to pursue that love for music. One thing that didn't change was being with AEO. I get to do all these amazing activities like marching band, drumline, concert band, and much more, and have the time and flexibility to complete my assignments online. Being an online student has taught me so many lessons I will keep with me for the rest of my life. So many things that I've learned. I've realized how to be creative, how to communicate, how to receive feedback, how to share ideas, how to stay organized, how to ask for help. It is definitely a decision that I will never regret. One that I'm so glad I did. I've enjoyed learning, enjoyed high school, and I think everyone should deserve that.
Thanks, Asha. I'm happy to hear it is working for you. Hi, I'm Hamilton Smith, and I teach science at AEO. My favorite thing about online learning is that students have many different ways to create and show what they know. Our next story comes from Mason Teal, a sophomore at Minnesota Online High School.
In the fall of 2014, I was playing 7th grade soccer for my middle school. I went to kick and heard a huge crack and felt lots of pain from my right hip. I thought I broke it. After a couple of weeks, it started to feel better, so we canceled my doctor's appointment. Little did we know, I had broken the bone that the leg muscles attached to in my hip, and it had reattached below my hip socket. Every time I moved my leg, it would scrape against that bone. Eventually, my labrum had torn, and I had started to feel lots of pain again. We went into the orthopedist, and he told us that I had to have surgery. On November 3rd, 2015, I had my first hip surgery. A couple of days after, I started having excruciating stomach pain. After my GP blew me off and said it was a virus, it started getting so bad that I wouldn't eat, get up, or do anything. We told my surgeon, and he said that I had an ulcer and that I should be taken off the NSAIDs. Sure enough, that was the trick. However, a few weeks later, I started having more pain and nausea. We tried many things, but none of them worked very long, if they did at all. Soon, headaches and dizziness became part of my sickness. I had to go to Children's for a week, and after I got discharged, they still didn't know what I had. Eventually, the biopsies came back from my endoscope and showed that I had tons of eosinophils, and I was diagnosed with eosinophilic gastroenteritis. They put me on many meds, which seemed to work. This was right at the end of 8th grade. I missed 50 days of school second semester in 8th grade. In the summer, we went to the Mayo. They said that I shouldn't get it anymore because I was feeling a little bit better and it, quote, never comes back. We asked, what if it does come back? And we just got blown off. Sure enough, exactly 1 week after I got taken off the only medicine that seemed to be doing anything, I got sick again. I saw many different specialists, and none of them knew what was going on with me. I was a medical mystery. However, there was an allergist that said, it's a long shot, but have the pathologist stain for mast cells on your stomach biopsies. At this point, I had had a few scopes and biopsies of my entire GI tract. The special stain showed that I had tons of mast cells under all those eosinophils and in my other biopsies, over double the normal amount. That explained everything, all my symptoms, triggers, and why no one could figure out what it was. It is very rare and a fairly new diagnosis. However, no doctor wanted to admit that I had it because it is such a terrible disease to have. In 9th grade, I missed another 50 days of school in the first semester. I was sick for 7 weeks straight at one point. That is when we discovered Minos, or Minnesota Online High School. It has literally been a lifesaver. I wasn't learning anything at brick and mortar school because I was never there. At online school, I can learn everything from my couch, even when I'm sick. Now, I've learned so much at online school that I'm actually ahead of my friends in brick and mortar school. Now I can focus on my health rather than school, like catching up in homework. I can go to the doctor during the day, go on walks, eat certain times during the day, drink lots of water, etc. I also eat healthier because I can choose what I want to eat instead of eating whatever the school lunch ladies give you. I also follow my passions when I'm feeling good enough to do so. I help out at my local elementary school and intern at the garage as a sound technician. I also do sound work for my local theater. In conclusion, online school has been a lifesaver. I'm still sick 2.5 years later and would never go back to brick and mortar school. I can't imagine being back in a school with 3,000 kids, and each classroom having 40 kids. I feel like the teachers have a lot deeper relationship with their students at online school and care about them more than brick and mortar school. It's a lot more personal, and I like that. You learn more things at your own pace, and it's more personal. You have more free time, you can focus on your health, and so much more. Even if you're sick, there is hope. Thank you, online school. You have given me my life back.
Thanks, Mason. It's good to see you have found a way that works for you. Hi, I'm Carl Soderberg, a social studies teacher at AEO. My favorite thing about online learning is being able to engage learners at any time from anywhere. Our next student speaker has overcome some major health challenges and continues to fight a rare and debilitating ailment. Her bravery and courage is truly inspiring. I give you Talitha Mueller, a freshman from EdVisions.
My name's Talitha, and this is my life. I'm Talitha. I love butterflies. I love meeting new friends. I'm a kind person. I like learning, listening to KDWB radio stations. I love watching TV shows, especially Pickles and Polly's. As you can see, I have animals. I have mini lap bunny. I have 2 dogs. And what is AT? For some people, they lose. And so I've been in the hospital for many months. I will just start crying my ass out because I miss my mom and I want her really bad. Well, it gets harder and harder as every day. I wish I could drink so bad. I love water so much. I love to swim in it. I love to drink it. If you come across someone in a wheelchair, don't just stare at them. Just go up and talk to them if you're confident enough. How does online school help me see they meet every need I want? I love this school. It's awesome.
Thank you, Talitha, for sharing your emotional story with us today. Your positive outlook is truly inspiring. Hi, I'm Alex Bryland, and I teach art at AEO. My favorite thing about online learning is the flexibility. I can tell that this flexible schedule works for my students because they're submitting assignments at all hours of the day. They are putting quality time into the art class when it is best for them. Our next storyteller is a sophomore from AEO. Please welcome Taylor Ratnam.
Greetings, everybody. Today I will present to you how I found my way. My journey. I started out in a brick-and-mortar elementary school. I was slower paced than average, got distracted easily, and struggled in arithmetic. I would often restart my day after school, and that resulted in me being less motivated. Because when I struggled with math, I just wouldn't understand it, so I'd have to technically relearn my day after school, and it just wasn't fun. Nobody can really work that long. And not to mention, there was a lot of silly kids, and so I would also get distracted very easily. So that's when we started looking into online school, and in 5th grade I began that. My grades slowly improved. Motivation was beginning to find its way to me, though I was still dependent on my parents. In middle school, I joined another online school, and through that, I still struggled with math, yet the teachers were helpful in improving my skills because of the one-on-one basis. I learned to ask teachers more rather than relying on my parents all the time, and I became a little bit more self-motivated. And I just wanted to say that, hey you, we are all unique. There is no right or wrong way to do online school. Do whatever works for you. And basically I'm saying is that this presentation is that I'm not saying what you should or shouldn't do. I'm just stating my personal experience because this is what has worked for me and has helped me grow and change. And if you do what works for you, I think is what really matters. Now, this is what I'm going to talk about, the click. Have you ever had a time where you were having a lot of difficulty and struggling something, and suddenly it all makes sense? Where maybe somebody came and explained it to you, or you just kind of suddenly just understood it, and you felt like, wow, I should have understood that all along. It's so simple. That's kind of what happened to me in ninth grade. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I really think that it was because of the responsibility of going into a new school again, an online school, joining AEO, and being way more independent. And this flexibility of new assignments has really given me this independence, and it's all up to me to get it done. So I think that's what really brought this motivation in to get it done and to do it well as well. Flexibility is one of the things that came with that, which includes self-paced education, such as like absorbing, and taking your time. So you can really absorb and get a good grasp of the information instead of just flying through it, or maybe being too slow if you're a fast worker, so that it's more personalized for you. That also comes with time and daily management. So within a week, you can work whenever you want, as long as you get it done. One thing I like to do is I like to work really hard on Wednesday and then relax on Tuesday, so that I put good time into my assignments, but then also don't procrastinate, and therefore I can also, relax on Tuesday, because nobody likes that procrastination feeling when you have to get it all done, and plus you just don't do as well. Dual enrollment is also something that I love, and that's what I'm doing right now. In fact, I would have never dreamed that I could do this. But the great thing about that is that you get the benefits of both the physical classroom and the online classroom. So you kind of get to experience the best of both. So you can really also socialize while not being at school all day long. You can come back home and do your online work and really just focus. Responsible and independent learning is also one of the things that comes with online school, and that's how I say is that it is up to you to get your work done, because there is no teacher to take your phone away or say, hey, pay attention. It's up to you to log on and get your work done. But the good thing about that is that it really simulates the real world, I think, because in the real world, it's up to you to get your work done. Ideal environment. It is distraction-free. There is not going to be any drama or passing notes or silly comments. It's more one-on-one, and so you can focus better. There are online peer discussions, so you can still socialize with other kids and not be completely isolated, but I could say in a more controlled manner, which I think is really better, because things can get really out of hand at school sometimes. Only an email away, so if you have to ask your teacher a question, you can just email them. Even if you can't raise your hand, they'll still reply pretty fast, and even if they don't, you can do what I do, which is course compensation, where you just work on a different subject. Now, that's not something people can always do in a regular school, but it's something that definitely AEO students can do. You can just log on to a different class, and it's very efficient to get your work done in a really good time manner. Or you can multitask. If you like to exercise, you could go on a walk while listening to an audiobook for English, and that makes the experience all better. And so that's also why I chose this picture, because it says Utopia School, and I really think that this is kind of a utopia, because I get all these benefits, plus with the benefits of a physical school as well. Curriculum. You get homemade assignments. They are non-rigid, they are current. You're not going to get something that's 5 years old. You're going to get something that's probably happening right now or happened only a month ago. And I love that, because it's something real and tangible, and it's something that you can even see on the news about. And it's a really good way to get this globalization running. Also, you can self-express yourself by putting your opinions and researching facts as well. Or if you're asked to write poetry or a story, there's not a lot of really rigid guidelines. So you can really express yourself in the words that you use, or in the way that you write things. Research insight is something that I have gained over the years because as online students, we are not really given a textbook, so it's kind of up to us to go and research things if we're asked to do a project on something, which I actually really like because I explore all these new facts that I don't think a book could always provide. And you also learn new ways of research, which will probably come helpful to be in college. And there are wonderful teachers who have made awesome contributions to my success so far. They really help you reach your full potential, such as feedback absorption. They usually offer feedback in pretty much all your assignments, and that way you can build on that to learn what's going to happen next, or apply that to the next lesson. They also do YouTube lessons, so rather than somebody talking once and you have to kind of remember what they said, you can play that again if you forgot. And they allow retakes allowed for successfulness. So if you didn't do as well, you can do it again and learn from that to boost your grade up. Now, do I regret? Well, when I look back, I don't really regret because I get, you could say that from my elementary experience that one might say I would regret, but I really don't because where I am now, I am really happy with, and every path is different. I don't know how I would have changed if I was all perfect in elementary school. So that's how they always say that sometimes through struggle we learn and we change. So honestly, I don't think it's about the past. I think it's really about right now. So I do not regret anything. I would also like to say thank you for everyone who's watching and everyone who's helped me get this far through all my years in elementary and middle school and now. My AEO and English and East High School teachers, Mr. Shingen, who has invited me to do this and who has given me awesome feedback and insight in my courses, and my parents who have helped me grow through these years and who have always been there for me when I needed help. And if any of you have suggestions, feel free because I always advocate on having an open mind. So if you have any other ideas that I didn't say, go ahead and tell me in the chat. Or if you have questions, feel free to ask. And here are the references. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for sharing your story, Taylor. It is always fun to see what you create. Hi, I'm Kim Frankowiak, and I'm a social studies teacher at AEO. My favorite thing about online learning is that I get to be on the forefront of revolutionizing what schools will look like in the future. Our next student presenter is Mackenzie Ravenous, a freshman from Link 12 Lakeville.
Good morning, my name is Mackenzie, and today I'm going to share as to why I chose online school for part of my education. When I was in 8th grade, I did not feel comfortable at my middle school due to my anxiety. The class sizes at my school were too big for me, so I developed the fear of being called on. I worried about people judging me in class. I was also not prepared for the amount of middle school drama. Before things got out of hand and impacted my mental health further, I knew I needed to make a change. Fortunately for me, the city I live in has an online school called Link 12 Lakeville. I asked my parents if I could do a couple classes online as I felt that this would be an option that would allow me to take a break from my stressors, but still give me the option to see my friends. I started my 8th grade year taking 2 classes at Link 12 while also attending my middle school. I was positive that this would work because I personally heard success stories. My mother actually works for Link 12. I've had the pleasure of learning firsthand how Link 12 operates. Link 12 has been great for me because I can learn at my own pace. I'm able to start my assignments without teacher instruction. I also have the capability of working ahead if I would like. Link 12 has the opportunity to allow me to start my work anywhere, anytime. This means I can also do my online classes before starting my day at my middle school. I eventually had my own success story. Link 12 has met my mental health needs as well as my academic needs. Even with doing 2 classes online, I noticed a difference in my mental health. I was much happier and less stressed. I ended the school year with A's in my online classes as well as receiving the Presidential Academic Award. This year, I started my 9th grade year optimistic that high school would be a new beginning. However, after the first day of my high school career, I was wrong. High school was not what I expected. The school was even larger than my middle school, and the drama continued. On the second day of high school, I decided this setting was not for me. I decided to take 2 classes online once again. Even with just doing 2 classes online, I was in a much better place. My parents noticed this tremendous weight off my shoulders as soon as I returned part-time online. Surprisingly, I did even better this year than last year. I finished both of my semester 1 classes about a month early. I earned an A in intermediate algebra and psychology. I also had the privilege of becoming student ambassador for Link 12 at my high school, second semester. This job entailed that I would help students out navigating the online system as well as assisting any questions they might have. One thing special about my online school compared to others is I have numerous times to connect with other students. We have one field trip every month going to places like Feed My Starving Children, sledding, going to plays, and Grand Slam. Currently, I'm finishing the school year doing 1 class online and 5 in my building. Even though I'm taking only 1 class online, I still feel as though Link 12 is a blessing. I plan on taking more classes online in the future. My goal in 10th grade is to continue Link 12 part-time with my high school. After 10th grade, I hope to take PSEO classes and go full-time online. After sharing my story, I hope you see that online school can be very beneficial to students with mental health concerns or general school stressors. I recommend Link 12 to anyone in a similar situation as me. I wish I would have enrolled sooner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate that you talked about being an introvert because we see that introverts really find their voice online. There is time and space to articulate your thoughts online versus trying to participate in a discussion with 30+ students in a classroom. Hi, I'm Jenny Ahern, and I teach math at AEO. My favorite thing about learning online is that I get to see how students learn and process information. I am honored to introduce our next speaker. She is a talented math student of mine. Please welcome Dre Morrow, a senior at AEO.
Hello, if you are watching this, you are probably a incoming AEO student or are just interested in AEO and want to see what it's about. So first, to start off, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Dre. I was born and raised in Duluth, Minnesota, and I am a graduating senior this year, and I have been taking AEO for now about a year. Outside of school, I work as a lifeguard, and in June, I will be starting as a CNA. So how did I get started with AEO? So basically, I became very involved at my school, which I attend Denfeld High School. And with that, some of those classes took up my time in my school day, and I wanted to be involved in those and still take my required classes. So how I heard about it was from other students, some counselors and teachers. And at first I was very nervous about joining AEO. I thought, my freshman year, I looked into it, and my counselor back then had said that nobody except one student even passed any classes online. So my first thought was that it was impossible. Also, another thing that got me started with AEO was sports. I am on the varsity swim team, and with that, I spend a lot of my time in the pool in the mornings at 4 a.m. and after school from 3:30 to late at night, and then a lot of days I have swim meets. So it was very hard for me to take a lot of classes at school when I was constantly leaving for meets. So I set up a schedule so that I had enough time to do both school, swim, and then AEO, which I put for my weekend. So essentially I had 7 days a week of school. Another thing that got me started with AEO was jobs. As I said earlier, I am a lifeguard, and with that, I spend a lot of my spare time working, so it's really not spare time. So that was just another thing that got in the way of my school life. So, you know, like a shift would come up for 2:30, but I have school till 3:30. So having that last hour, I can then get to work until late at night, and then get home and do my online class into the really late hours of the night. So I knew that I needed to have some way to do my school, but at a different time. Another thing that got me into AEO was limited classes. With my busy schedule, I would have a class that I wanted a certain hour, such as my student government class, which is not before or after school activity. We get credit for it, so it's during the school day. So with that, I had to replace one of my classes, either math or Spanish, with the AEO class. So the next thing I want to talk about is tips and tricks. Don't abuse the internet. A lot of people who join an online class think, oh, well, this class will be easy because I can look up all the answers to everything. It's not that way. However, the internet, like I kind of mentioned, is useful to look up things if you don't quite understand them. Also, find your perfect study place. This can be in your bedroom, it can be another place in your house where it's quiet, or even if you want to play music while you are learning. And this study place will be where you will work on your classes each time and will feel comfortable and can focus. Another tip is for world language class. I personally recommend not using earbuds or headphones. My reason being is that with headphones and earbuds, the voice is kind of muffled and distorted, so it's really hard to fully grasp what the speaker in each slide is saying. Also, I keep mentioning this, but I cannot stress enough how important this is. Talk to your teacher. Another tip is to designate time. I also mentioned this earlier, but I think it's a very important thing. Don't just pack your schedule super full and think, oh, well, I'll get it done at some point. Make sure you are designating a certain amount of hours towards your online education. And my last tip is take notes. It doesn't even have to be writing them out by hand. This can be typing or even screenshotting certain parts of the lesson and saving those screenshots so you can look back on them later. But online education is very similar to a normal education. You really need notes to be able to do well on your tests and homework, because odds are you're not going to remember everything that you saw on those slides. And I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.
Thanks for your story and the advice, Dre. It is helpful for students who have experienced how it works online to shed some light on how to be a successful student. Hi, I'm Todd Mikologic, and I'm a resource teacher at AEO. I feel that all students are unique and have varying learning styles. My favorite thing about online school is that it is a great way to help students achieve academic success by providing an alternative to the typical seat-based approach to teaching. I really enjoy helping students learn creative ways to present their knowledge and ideas through a variety of digital tools. I have worked with our next presenter for a couple of years now. I'm proud to introduce to you a person whose high school story has a happy ending. A senior at AEO, Romero Rivera.
My name is Romero Rivera. My favorite color is green, like the forest. I'm a nerd. I love literature and I love reading and writing. See, I had this whole video planned out on how I wanted to do this, but instead you just got to deal with me. I grew up in middle, lower class and I move around a lot from school to school. Growing up, I was constantly bullied wherever I went, and I mean that literally. Mentally, I suffer from PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression. Physically, I have asthma, chronic allergies, and I got some lung problems. Growing up, I was punched, kicked, stuffed in a couple lockers, and I was even stabbed once. So in middle school, I went and I probably made it through half of freshman year in high school, and then I was done. I was just done with school. I given up. I thought about even just getting my GED, but I said no. I took, even growing up as a little kid, I never believed that I would get my diploma. I don't know why, just as a little kid, I always believed that. Now I'm in senior year, and I'm so close to getting my diploma, and I couldn't be happier. So after that half year in freshman year, I was done with school. Like I said, I had given up, but instead of giving up on myself, I decided to take the scenery I was in and change it. I wanted to take my own education into my own hands. So I left the public school by the community of Duluth, Minnesota. And there I was put into a program called AEO, which is Academic Excellence Online. And from there, my life was changed. I got a different perspective in life. It built my self-conscious. It made me be aware of my surroundings. It gave me skills that I didn't have before. I mean, in high school, I was that shy kid that wouldn't talk to anybody. But after joining AEO and learning what I have from them, it's really changed me and made me become a better person. For them, I had supporting teachers, supporting students, which I talked through discussions, through homework, and what I'm saying is you have the right to take your life into your own hands like I have. I got tired of the bullying. I wanted to do better for myself, and instead I got out in public school and went online. With the Adult Learning Center and the AEO program, I can now say I'm ready for the future, and I don't know, yeah, I'm ready for the future and what's to come. Thank you everybody at the school adult learning program that has helped me. I couldn't have succeeded without all of your help.
Thanks, Ramiro. We're happy to see that you are achieving the goals you set out for yourself. We're really proud of you and what you have accomplished these past years. Hi, I'm Phil Thoyne. I'm a science teacher at AEO. My favorite thing about online school is the creativity involved in designing curriculum that can reach students of diverse intelligences and learning styles. Our next student storyteller has had an emotional year. He found himself in a moral dilemma, but he has found his way out of it. Let's listen in as Matt Ojeda, a freshman at AEO, tells his story.
Hello, my name is Matt Ojeda. I'm a freshman at AEO, and I'm 14 years old. The reason why I decided to switch to online school is because my little brother Dex, or Dexter, got re-diagnosed with terminal cancer around December 2017. And so at the time when he first got re-diagnosed, I was still doing public school. And one day my parents sat me down and brought up the idea of doing online school, which at first I really was not keen about doing. And I tried it. And I told them I'd do it for a week, and if I didn't like it, then they said that I could switch back to public school. So I tried it, and I actually loved it, because the schedule is so much more flexible than public school, because public school, you can't just wake up and do public school whenever you want. You gotta wake up at, 7, and you get home at 3:30. But with AEO, I can wake up at 3:30 and do school for 30 minutes and then put the Chromebook away and come back to it later. Or I can wake up at 7 a.m. and work until noon and get all my schoolwork done for the whole week. And it's just great. We got to finish, well, not quite finish, but we got to do most of my little brother Dexter's bucket list. We got to go on a Caribbean cruise. We got to go to Washington, D.C. We got to go to Hawaii for his Make-A-Wish. That was so much fun. And I get to hang out with Dex when he's awake, and I work on school when he sleeps. And the other thing about AEO is the online teachers have been so understanding and flexible. It's just great, because if I get something late and I don't do it, and the due date is October 1st, and I don't do it until October 2nd, I can just ask them if I can have it a little late, and most of the time they say yes, because they all understand the situation, which is amazing. And honestly, if online school didn't exist, I would either fail out or not be with Dex, and which neither of those is an option, but it's nice to have online school.
Thank you, Matt, and all of our storytellers today. It's an honor to hear a person's story. It's how people connect and form community. Hi, I'm Chris Vold, coordinator at AEO. My favorite thing about online school is the flexibility it affords the students who need it. We have a special guest with us today. Jeff Plowman's the Director of Online Learning for the Minnesota Department of Education. He's tuned in today and wishes to say a few words.
On behalf of the Minnesota Department of Education, I want to congratulate the organizers of this conference. What began as an idea in the fall with a phone call between Joe Shingen and myself has come to fruition today in an exemplary forum for connection and communication that gives our student storytellers a way to talk about how they learn and how online education works for them. Thank you to the program administrators and teachers who make online education a high-quality public education option for Minnesota students from kindergarten through 12th grade. It's clear as I watch these stories that the efforts you make to build solid relationships with your online students, having the right mix of high expectations and genuine care, is what your students need and appreciate most about you. Most of all, I want to thank the students who have shared their journeys with us today. It's a rare opportunity for me to see our work in action, to know that what we're doing matters. The strength and resilience demonstrated by Talitha was remarkable. Her message highlighted two important aspects about online education: flexibility and connection. Her story about the difficulties she's experienced at times with people getting in the way when she's out and about made me reflect on how oftentimes that's the case with learning as well. In our efforts to control the experience for students, we often make learning dull, boring, and something that's put upon you rather than something that you own. And that message was something we heard again and again. Online learning puts students in control of where they learn, what they work on, and when they learn. Talitha's challenge to us to reach out and talk to people we see as different than ourselves tells us how powerful connection can be. For online students, connecting with others on their own is a strong motivating factor. For Mackenzie, online learning gave her a break for 2 periods from the drama she experienced in middle and high school to support her own mental health while achieving a high standard of excellence in academics. Asha discovered the joy of learning through her online courses, and Taylor has truly found her utopia school online. What connects both their stories is their appreciation for their exceptional teachers. They receive the personal feedback they need from teachers who really know and care about them. Several students mentioned that one of the great things about online learning is flexibility. Mason is using his flexibility he has for self-care and volunteering to help others. Dre takes full advantage of the flexibility online learning offers, allowing her to better balance her swim training and work as a lifeguard with her education. Matt's story about how he is able to use his online flexibility to keep up with school while he spends as much time as he can with his brother Dex highlighted the responsibility he's able to exercise as an online learner. Ramiro's journey from never really believing he would receive a high school diploma to now seeing how he's taking control of his own learning is a powerful reminder of why we do this work. Ramiro, you truly are ready for the future and all it holds for you. I work in the Office of Career and College Success, and I can say with all honesty that this group of storytellers and the countless others who connect and learn online every day represent the face of career and college-ready students. You have the knowledge and skills that make you expert learners. But to you, it's nothing special. It's just business as usual for online students. Your resilience, motivation, flexibility, and communication are qualities that will carry you far. And I thank you for letting me share a small piece of your learning journey.
Thank you, Jeff Plowman, our storytellers, and our attendees. Thank you to the staff at Academic Excellence Online, Duluth Public Schools, all participating online schools in Minnesota, and to James Bailey from Canvas and Structure for powering this online event. Have a great finish to your school year. We will see you next time.